Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session Machine Learning Basic Tools Pandas Part 1, where I'll be discussing about a very important and mostly used Python library called Pandas. You know, pandas that's climbs up the tree. Pandas don't climb up trees, bamboos. Yeah, not those pandas. It's a separate library of Python library. Why do we use this? Well, it is used to deal with tables in a really vague description. If I say, tables, you have seen Excel sheet, Google sheet, right? This type of data are called structured data. Structured, okay? Cause there's rows, columns, and everything is well structured. And when we use data in machine learning, most often it is like in table, in CSV files, etc. But ultimately it is some kind of a table, or we convert them into table. And which library, how we manipulate, how do we use those in our advantage in making the model, we use pandas libraries. Okay, panda library. Now, before that, I also want to remind you that previously I had 3 sessions where I discussed machine learning basics in 2 sessions, and yesterday I have discussed about NumPy, another very important library, NumPy, okay, which tackles matrix. Today we are discussing something that tackles table-like structures, structured data, pandas, and yesterday we have done discussing something that tackles matrices. Okay, both of these are really important. Okay, really important, especially used in everywhere, and every other library that you gonna see or gonna use, it is based on these two libraries. Okay, so it is widely used. Fine. So let us get introduced with pandas a bit more. Okay, let us see the documentation, shall we? Pandas documentation. Let's go. Let's click here, and we're in pandas documentation. Let's go to API reference, where we will find everything that we need regarding pandas. On the left side, you see these, all the functionalities are listed here. Let me click random one. Let me click series that we are going to discuss at the beginning. Everything related to series are here, well structured, well organized. You can click anything according to your need. Okay, let's click this one, pandas.series. Yeah, you get all the documentations and the reading material related to pandas.series function. If you get stuck, you can use this by saying stuck. Another point, okay, how do we search stuff if we get stuck? Obviously there's one option, go to documentation. Okay, even you can don't have to go to documentation, you can just type in. Okay, it will automatically lead to you in the documentation. Okay, another very important thing is that use shift plus tab. This thing I'm gonna be mentioning quite a few times today in this session, shift plus tab in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, this will open up doc strings related to our function. Another thing, it is also important, okay, GPT. If we get stuck, we can use GPT or Microsoft Copilot. Okay, anything that we like. Even I might myself get stuck on this session. This might also happen. Yeah, we are gonna use GPT then. Okay. Okay, fine. So these are some important talks. Let's now dive into the hands-on part. Hands-on. Hands-on. Let's go to our Jupyter notebook. Let's go. Let's open our file for today, Jupyter notebook. Here it is. Here you can see our poster for today's session, Machine Learning Basic Tools, Intro to Pandas Part 1. Remember, it is Part 1. I'll be discussing Part 2 later tomorrow. So first of all, get familiar with these two things, series and data frames. Series and data frames. What are they? Well, in Pandas, you see two types of data type. Data type. One is series and the other one is data frame. Okay, remember that this F here is capital. Okay, this F here is capital. Now what do we why do we use series, or what is it? Well, series is basically one column. One column. In table you see multiple columns, right? Like A, B, C, D. If we were to pick just one, any random one, like for example B, okay, one column picked, this will be a series. It is a vague idea, but an intuition of series, what series is. Okay, one column, remember this. Okay, fine, let's go to our notebook. Creating a series. We will be creating series in three ways: from Python list, from NumPy array, and also from dictionary. Let's dive in. First of all, we have to import. We gonna import NumPy as NP and Pandas as PD. Okay, so after whenever we use NumPy, we just gonna say NP and Pandas for PD. That's it. We don't have to write the whole thing. Okay, let's run it. Okay, run. The second cell, I have written it for you to save time. Let's also run this one. Okay, what is in this cell? If you look, the labels, it is basically a Python list. List 1, it is also a Python list. Okay, there should be a change here. Yeah, this is also a Python list. And number 3, array, this thing is a NumPy array. You see this np.array function, this makes the list inside an NumPy array. Finally, we all know what is dictionary. It is a dictionary. Everywhere I have used three, you can say entries, three entries. Okay, fine. Now, how do you create a series? What does series look like? Fine. Let's create pd.sr. You see what I did there? I use tab. If you use tab, the Jupyter notebook most oftenly will fill up the rest of your text automatically. Okay, fine. Bracket. Now what do we use? Shift plus tab for our convenience. Like me, if you also forget stuffs, then use shift tab and it will open the doc string for you. Now what do we see here? What's the syntax of using pd.series? First of all, we need data. Okay, then we need indexes. You know what is indexes, right? If you don't know, let me give you a reminder. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are indexes. You might have A, B, C, D, but these are indexes. Clear? Okay. So we can add indexes. Okay, we won't be needing the rest of the things. You can read it if you like. Let's go. So for data, you can write data manually or you can skip it. We're gonna use labels. Again, see. Okay, now we're gonna go for index. First of all, let's not do the index. Okay, let's run it. It ran. Okay, you see the index is by default 0, 1, 2. It will create by default indexes if you don't put it in. If you also don't write this one, it will still run. Okay, okay, now we want to put on the indexes. Let's do that too. So indexes, index, what should be our index? The index should be in a list. So it is from 0, 1, 2. Let's make it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It worked, right? Okay, fine. So what did we use here? We used a Python list to make a series. Next, let's use something else. Let's use NumPy array for our purpose. Let's copy the whole thing. Okay, paste. And in data, we are going to use array that we have created above here, which is a NumPy array 40, 50, 60. Let's run it now. It also ran. You see, these are only one column. There's no two columns in series, only one column. Okay, if it is more than one column, then we will have to use data frames. Okay, or it will be data frame. Fine, fine. Okay, let's remove the indexes. Still now from 0, 1, 2. By default it is from 0, 1, 2. Let's go forward. Let's make it from a dictionary. Let's see what happens then. Same thing, paste it. Let's remove dict1. It ran, but it gave me none value. That means the values are missing somewhere. I have indexes, so let me remove that. Now let's run. Okay, it had some trouble for using the indexes. You get what happened here? In dictionary, these are columns, the left side of your column. Okay, X, Y, and Z. And the right part is your value. Okay, this just printed there. Really simple, really easy. If I since I had added index manually previously, you saw that didn't have any relatable values. That's why it gave me none. Okay, and a n. Clear? So by far we have created series from three things, that is list, array, and dictionary. Okay. Now another thing that we are going to discuss, that is using index. Using index, let's see how we can do that. Let's take a series. Let's say this is our series ser. Let's run it. Print that. Okay. Now you want to pick a data from this series. You can pick that. Let's go for. Let's see if writing the index works. Yeah, it works. Because you only have index, you don't have column. Okay, so you have to put index value to find your answer. Okay, let me do another one, like 2. Now let me put a 0. No, there's no 0, because what is SRE? What is sir? See here, there's no 0. I have manually inputted the index. Okay, so that's why there's no 0 and it is giving me an error. It is from 1 to 3. You can also get the 3 value. Fine. Okay, so this is the basics of series that I have discussed. It is not widely used because no one uses one column thing, right? And there's not so much versatility in it. Still, if you want to know more about it, what you should do, what you can go in the documentation, go the API reference. These all are these are the references related to pandas.series. I have told you that it is not widely used, that's correct, but there are lots of functionalities. Okay, fine. Now let's move to our second topic. The second topic is data frames. This is the thing that is used most. Now, the differences between series and data frames I have mentioned earlier, that in series that in series you only have one column, this definite column in series, but in data frame you will have more than one column. Okay, it might be two, three, and lots and thousands. Okay, okay, fine. Let's start data frame. First of all, let's see the agenda, what we are going to learn in this data frame part. We are going to create data frame. We are going to learn how you can create data frames. Then we are going to learn how can you do selection and indexing in pandas data frame. And we are going to learn it in three ways. Then you can see we are going to learn conditional selection, and finally we're also going to learn creating and dropping columns. These are the basic things you should learn in learning data frames. So let's begin by creating a data frame. Now in this one I'm going to take a different approach. Data, let's create data from what? Let's create our data from numpy. Remember NumPy. If you've forgotten that, go to my YouTube channel. I have posted the link in the chat box and see the session, or Google it, see other YouTube videos, but get an idea of it. Rand int. What does rand int do? Let's see the doc string. Rand int. What does it do here? Rand int. There should be a mention. Yeah. Return random integers from low to high. It returns random integers, and in the syntax you can see there's low, then high. Also the size you can mention. You can create any size matrix you want. Okay, let's create it then. Let's suppose our lowest value will be 1, our highest value will be 50. Okay, then let's make the data frame of 3 by 3. Got it? Okay, now let's run it. It ran, but how does it look like? Let's see that. Data, yeah, 3 by 3. Clear? This is how we can make a array. It is a 2D array having 3 by 3 dimensions. Clear? Okay, we are going to input this entire thing in our data frame as data. How? And PD, we're going to create data frames or tables using pandas. So pd dot data, what have I mentioned? The f's gonna be capital, tab, the rest is filled up automatically. Let's give in the bracket. Now our key, the magic command, shift tab. Okay, let's expand. Let's see what is the syntax of the pd dot data frame. First of all, you're going to input the data. You can input the index, then column. Also you can input the data type. Okay, the rest is for your reading if you have interest. Okay, let's now create our data frame. First, since it is data, let's input our data, which is data. It is called data. I have named it data. Okay, in the above line. Now for index. Index, you know, the leftmost column. Yeah, we can do that manually. What should it be? Let's say it is gonna be A B C D dots. Sorry, it's gonna be A B C, since it is 3 columns, right? 3 by 3 matrix. Yeah, careful about that, guys. Okay, split here. You understand this part of code, right? What does that do? It's gonna split automatically on the spaces and create a list. If you still didn't understand this, this is Python code. So if I written A B C, I have given spaces here and then written split dot split. So in this one it will pick the spaces and divide it. So if we pick this space and this space and divide it, then what is the division like? This is our first division, this is our first division, second division, this is the third division, and it will input all of these divisions in a list, a new list. A comma B comma C. Clear? I hope it is clear that you can make list by using split. It is a Python function. You can check that. Okay, fine? Fine. Okay, let's get back to our notebook. Okay, like this we can create our indexes. Fine. Let's create our columns in the same way. Let's name the columns capital. Capital A, capital B, and capital C. And dot split bracket. Fine. And let's put in the last bracket. Let's run it. There's some syntax error. Cannot assign to function call. Okay, let's see. Yes, there's a extra bracket here, I think. Okay, before that, let's name the data frame. Let's call it df for data frame equals. Okay, now let's see where is the wrong, where have I made the mistake. Here, you see this. Now let's run. It ran. Now what is our data frame look like? Print. This is our beautiful data frame that we have created. Okay, you see the indexes that I have manually added, the columns that I have manually added. Okay, fine. Now what can we do? We have created our data frame. Now what's the next topic? Selection and indexing. You know what is selection and indexing? Selection and indexing basically means that uh, you can pick any of the entries from this data frame. How? Let me uh, again let's select. Let's see. Let me clear it for you that this is our data frame, right? 3 by 3, 3 by 3. A B C D E F G H I. Okay, by selecting, we can select this value. It might be this whole thing, it might be this. Okay, this is called selection. Or indexing, we can get any value through their index, any single value through their index. This is called indexing. And selection is basically having the whole thing. Okay, the range thing. We can also have a single value here. Understood selection and indexing? Clear? Fine? Okay? Okay. Now let's start coding. How can we do that? First method, third bracket, you wanna, let's say column A, you got column A. Also the index is gonna be automatically there. Okay, fine. You want column B, there's column B for you. You want both of them together in harmony. Let's print that in harmony. A comma B, now it is a data frame. You notice that when I wanted a single column, it was only a series. Okay, since it was a single column, since I have added two columns, now it is a data frame. You see, data frame. Okay, fine. I can now select any of the columns that I want. What else? Okay, I have selected columns. Can I do rows here too? Let's see. Let's add row A. Oh no, it's giving me error. It's giving me error. Okay, fine. Okay, let's do something else. Let's do something else. Let's see, this works. Yeah, it's working fine. The thing is, what I have noticed is that if you have two columns and one row on the right side, this part, it is giving me error. But if you have one column and one row, this is called indexing, then you will have the output that you desire. Okay, but I may need to have that type of manipulation done, two column, two rows, or maybe ranges. Yes, we can do that. This is our second thing, that is iLock. There's something called iLock. Let's have another cell opened, df.iLock. Okay, before doing iLock, let's do lock first. I'm gonna tell you the difference. The difference is basically uh, dot lock is for, you know, the names of the columns and rows, and dot iLock, you see that I here, it is for index. You can do the same thing, the exact thing that you can do in iLock, but through indexes. Clear? Let's see the implications. df.lock, let's pick column A. Another thing, in this format you have to do the row first, then column. Let's see, let's pick row, and it printed. Okay, it picked the row number A and all the column values are listed. Okay, okay, let's not open GPT. Fine. Now let's do what we were unable to do earlier, two column and a row. Now after writing iLock A, now write your column. I want to column A and also column B. Let's see if it runs. Now it also giving me error. Why is that? Why is that? Key of top. Okay. Let's see. Let's explore a bit. Okay. Let's explore a bit what might be the reason why it is not working. I've told you what can you do when you get stuck, right? At the beginning of the class. Yeah. Yeah. We're also gonna do that. First of all, single value. It works. Fine. Now double value. Let's put a comma here. Oh no, it's again giving me an error. Let's put a colon. Let's see if that works. It worked. You see that? It worked. You have to give the range in colon. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Okay, since I'm exploring, let me do the same thing for the previous part. Let's see if that works too. It might, it might be. Let's see. No, it didn't work. Let me put it in a list, then see if it works, then see if it works. No, it didn't work. Okay, it is giving me an invalid syntax for the colon that worked here. Okay, so mind it guys, not every syntax are the same. I am showing you everything, all the errors, making myself and exploring stuffs. Okay, okay, fine. Now let's get back to lock. This is one way of writing. Another way you can do that, that is like this: df.loc. Okay, let's first our row, comma. Remember this syntax. It will most probably you're gonna use this one most often. Okay, lock and ilock. Now from A, this time use your colon. Colon is used for range. You have used range in Python in for loop, right? You have used it like when writing for I in range, right? Oh no, not in range, but you have used it. In range you got this type of thing, right? And yeah, but in slicing, indexing, what did you do? From A to B, it printed from A to B minus 1. This was a ranging command, right? From A to B minus 1, right? Similar thing is here also applicable. So we are gonna have from A to from, let's say we have up until C, right? So let's go for C. Let's see if that prints. It printed. We have just one row. Let's print the entire row from A to C. Sorry, it's small c. Obviously keep in mind of the, what is capital letter and what is small letter, the capitalizations. Fine, let's see it now. It works. It worked. Now we have printed the whole thing by using this ranging material, the ranging command, the magic tool that we used called colon. Okay, indicating the range. How can we do that? Mm, can we do that anyhow else? Anything other? Let's see if there's any other way of doing the same thing. Colon, colon. Let's see if that works. It worked. Okay, if you just put colon, it will mean the whole thing. Okay, the first colon here, this left side of the comma is for the row, right? This part, and the right part is for the colon. Let me write it for you for your understanding. Row starting, and this is row end point. Obviously it will be okay, let me finish that first. Column starting, and this is column ending. Clear? Fine. This is the syntax, okay, that we have used. But if you don't put it that, it will automatically take the whole column and whole row. So it is a kind of a hack that you can use. Okay, it is giving me the whole data frame. Fine, got it. We know how to use lock. Well, not exactly. There's tons of other things you can do. Okay, there's lots and lots of other things that you can do here. I have shown you that I have said series is not used that much, but when you went to the documentation, the API reference, you saw that there's tons of things that you can do with series. Similarly, let's go to .iloc. Let's go to .iloc. .iloc, let's find it out. This is the series part. Let's go close this. I'm also showing how you can find if you get stuck. Okay, and also the magic one. Okay, I'm coming to that part. Data frame, everything related to data frame is present here. Let's go to series lock. Let's go to lock. Okay, let's go to lock, and wait, yeah, it's opened. Now everything that there is in .lock is present here. Let's see some of the codes. I can't show you everything. I can guide you. Your job is to explore. Okay? Okay. Let's see if we missed anything. Let's see one or two things like that. This is the starting. We have created data frames. It created data frame. We have seen this one picking up a column. Sorry, row. Yes, it is picking up a row. It is a row. Viper is a row. You see there? It's a row index. I'm gonna say. So it is first inputting the row, sorry, index, and it is giving the value. Clear? Clear. Second, list of labels not using brackets returns a data frame. You see? Again, multiple columns. You can use in bracket. We have discussed this, and see this ranging part that I have discussed. This is also present here, a ranging part and a definite column. Clear? Okay, let's see whether I have missed anything. See this is gonna be our topic to discuss next. This is called conditioning. We're gonna apply conditions on our data frame. We're gonna see that. Yeah, there's lots of other things that you can use with .ilog. Especially you can also have a function using lambda. I'm not going to show you that. It's your homework. Okay, do that. You can also use functions, lambda functions, create that and apply it in data frame. This is a conditioning part, but yeah, you can use it in log. Okay, fine. Let's go to our next topic for discussion. What is that? That is ilog. Now, previously I have told you that what is the difference between .log and .ilog. ilog, the name itself is saying that that means index. You're going to use index to do the same thing, the exact thing. Okay. Okay, let me check one thing. Okay, fine. Let's create a new cell and use our .ilog. df.ilog. What are we going to use here? We are going to use the indexes. So let's use index A. Let's see what is the result. Oh no, it's giving me error. Why is the error? Cannot index by location, index with a non-integer key. We have put a non-integer key, that's why it is not running. Let's put 0. It ran. Like I said, it will be indexes, but integer indexes. Although I have put manually ABC, but still when you are going to use ilog, you have to use the predefined indexes, that is from 0 1 2. When I have inputted 0, the answer is 28 5 and 46. It is printed. Got that? Fine? Fine. Let's do a bit more. Let's go from 0 to number 2. Let's see what happens now. It printed from 0 and 1. Why? Because when we are dealing with integers in ranging, in Python, the last value, the endpoint is excluded. If you add n, it will type until n minus 1. Clear? It is Python coding. Fine? Fine. Let's do some more. I want the whole row. So what have to I add? Instead of 2, I have to add 3. Then it will print from 0 indexed row to 2 indexed row. Let's see that. Let's see that. Yeah, it printed right. After this, what can I do? Let's have only our column A. Let's see if I can do it like this. Let's see. Bracket. Yeah. It is also possible. Now I had an error when I used multiple columns in that part. Let's see if it gives me the same thing here. Yes, it is giving me error because I can access one point. Okay, one point, one column like previously. But whenever I did two, that didn't work. I have to use, if I want to access multiple columns, rows, I have to do it in the brackets of ilock or lock. Let's do that then. Let's do that. Let's go from 0 to 3. What does that mean? That means it will print from column 0 to column number 2. Let's print it, and it printed. Fine. A few minutes earlier, what I have said we can write the same thing, exact thing, in which way? Like this. ilock dot column print it. Oh, there's a syntax error, invalid syntax. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? The only thing that is reasoning here is that you can do this thing in lock, but you can't do this thing in ilock. Let's print it. It is still not printing. It is saying that using this colon alone is invalid. Okay, let's put a value then. Let's see if that works. Let's put 0. Still didn't work. Okay, let's put 3. Let's see if that works. Still didn't work because I have this alone. Let's see. Still didn't work. So you understood that in case of ilog there always has to be some integer values. Okay, other than that it won't print, it will give error. Okay, fine, but still let's see if I can do any other manipulations with it. Let's pick row number 1 and the whole columns from 1 to 3. I didn't use any columns in the left side of the comma, the row side. Let's see if it prints right now. Still didn't print. Still didn't print. It is saying invalid syntax, and it is indicating this range. That means the both side has to have a colon. But if I want to pick only just row number 1, how can I do so? By doing this. Okay, there's something wrong or something. Why isn't it not working? Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? Right? But this is working. Now this is also not working. Wow. Fine. Okay. Let's print it the same thing in another cell. Let's see if it works then. Okay. Really interesting. Okay. Okay, I think I have mistaken in some kind of syntax. Let's see if I can find it here. I have told you that if I cannot find the solution, what can we do? If we can't find the solution, let's recap that part also. It is also a part of learning. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Where did I discuss that? Yeah, this is the part I discussed. If I can't find any answer, if I get stuck anywhere, I can see the documentation. I can type in and search the web for my answers. And obviously, docstring is my syntax help. And still, if I get stuck, what? ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot. Okay, let's see. Let's input this thing. Why is it giving me invalid syntax in Microsoft Copilot? Let's see that. Let's call in Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot. Let's go there and let's see why this is happening. Let's print it. I've copied it. Invalid syntax. Let's see the answer. It looks like you're trying to slice a data frame. Yes, this is the term. But there's a small issue with the syntax. Yes, I know that. But what is it? The correct syntax for ilock is to use square brackets instead of parentheses. Square brackets instead of parentheses. Here's the slicing. Okay, where is the difference? Is there anything different? Well, I don't see any difference, but still let's copy this code and Let's see if it works. I copied it. Yeah, I'm finding what is the problem. Investigating. Copied and pasted. Subset is gonna be our new thing. Guess what? It worked. What do you know? It worked. Okay, that's a good thing for us, right? Yeah. I was trying to show you that how you can use Microsoft Copilot GPT when you get stuck. Okay, right? Okay. I've told you in the beginning that we are gonna use it. This is the time when we used it. So guys, don't be shy of AI or anything. Use them. These are for our efficiency and speed. Fine? Okay. So up until now I have discussed with you. I don't have too much time, so I am gonna move a bit quick. I have discussed this first three things, two things: creating data frame, selecting and indexing. Now do some conditions. Okay, let's do some conditions then. Let's apply our condition on our data frame that all the values should be greater than 10. Let's see what is the answer. I have applied this condition on the whole data set, and it is giving me a boolean type answer, true or false. Clear? Now anything else? I want to see which values are legal in this condition. If that is the case, to access the values, the entries of the data frame, we have to use the third bracket, then the condition that we saw. Let's do it. Yes, those condition didn't fulfill the condition, those entries, they are gonna give none. Nan. Okay, clear? Clear. Fine. Now I want to add multiple conditions in our data frame. Multiple conditions. Let's do that. Df greater than 10, and another condition, df must be smaller than 30. Let's say 30. Clear? Okay, fine. Let's print it. Oh no, syntax error. Why? Because you didn't put something in between of the two condition. When we want to do a union type stuffs, that is or, or. You didn't get that? What do you mean by or, union? Union. It also can be written like this. Okay, or you can use this or function. There's also something called intersection, the common thing, intersection. This is also represented like this, or the and. Fine. We have used these two in conditioning with if and else in Python code. Remember? Yes, but in data frame in pandas we can't use and or. Instead, for and we are going to use this sign, this and for or we are going to use this or. I don't know the exact name of this, okay? I'm just going to call it the big or, okay? We have to use these two. Let's use them. Let's first go for our big brother or. Let's see if that prints. Oh no, still getting error. Why? The y is in brackets. You have to use brackets too in conditions. Wait, in conditions, let's use brackets. Now let's see if it runs. It ran. Crisp and clear. Crisp and clear. Okay, let me reverse this condition. Yeah, now I can see also a NaN value. This is not implying my conditions. Okay, fine. Let's see the AND one, and let's print it. It printed, and now there's not so many common values here, successfully implying our two conditions. So this is how you can use conditions in data frames. Fine. What's the next topic for discussion? I have discussed the boolean part, the condition, multiple conditions. Also I have discussed you can use and or, the big and big or. Selecting condition specific column. Yes, you can do that after you have fulfilled your um, condition. Now you can pick anything. Like I can pick, say for column A, I want to pick column A. It is giving me column A. If I want to pick two columns, what would it be? it won't print, right? Wait, if I put an comma, it also will give me an error. It should give me an error. Oh, guess what? It printed. It printed. Yeah, fine. Cause it worked. Okay, find out the reasons for yourself. Okay, this is one way. Another way is to use lock and iLock. Lock and iLock. Let's see if lock and iLock. Okay, now this is giving me error. Syntax is multidimensional. Okay, okay. So let's not get too complicated here. Let me use one condition. You can explore yourself with the multiple conditions. Okay, I'm not going to go there since I don't have too much time. Let's print something. In iLock, you can do this if I'm not wrong. See, okay, it's still not printing. If it is not printing, what should we do? What? Go to Microsoft Copilot. See what is wrong with the code. Let also add a command. Correct this. Okay. Let's see what have we mistaken. So here is the correct version of our code. Let's do this. Here you can see that in the first part it has given the condition, in the second part it has mentioned the columns. So from this actually he is picking the rows. uh, it should pick the rows, right? We have previously discussed on the left part of the comma is for the rows. So it is actually, although it is there is a condition, but the condition is applied mostly for rows. After picking the rows, then it moves on to the column. Okay, fine, fine. Although the command is for the entire data frame. Okay, let's copy this and paste it. Let's copy it and let's select the whole thing, paste it. Okay, now it is still giving me error. Data type problem, data type problem. Okay, data type problem. Okay, okay, I think there's some kind of issues here. Well, let's not waste our time too much. I think by far what I have discussed, you can figure it out yourself, that how we can use lock and iLock for conditioning. Okay, fine. What is the next topic for our discussion? It is creating and dropping columns. By far I have created a data frame, right? And used lots of techniques. I have used, lock, iLock, I have selected, I have indexed, I have sliced, right? Now let's create column. Let's add a column. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, let's delete this, shall we? We don't want to keep anything that is disgraceful to us. Cut it. Okay, so df dot what are you gonna discuss? We're gonna discuss, yes, creating. Now in dictionary it's similar to dictionary. You know dictionary, how do we add columns in dictionary? Sorry, values in dictionary. What is the syntax? Suppose this is a dictionary dict1. You have some values, a equals suppose 1, b is 2. Now you want to add a key called c and its value is 3. How can you add that? You can add that by this. Get the data dictionary name, type in your bracket, give the name, it is c, it's gonna be c, and the value is 3. This is how you create your new key value pair in dictionary. The same kind of the same structure is also applied. Let's see that. Let's see that. So we're gonna create our new column. The column name would be, say, d, and since there is 3 values, so we're gonna give 1 2 3. It ran. Let's see the data frame now, and booyah, a b c d. Clear? Are we okay with that? We can create columns like this. Now suppose we want to drop column. We have created this D column and we don't want it right now. How can we delete that? Let's go use a function. The new function that we are going to discuss is called drop and drop. Just drop. Which column do you want to drop? I want to drop number D. Okay, then drop D and boom, it didn't work. Let's see what's our solution. Go to docstring. Okay, I'm giving you a reminder how to use this type of techniques. Okay, don't waste too much time on these things. Okay, drop. Okay, uh, drop. The docstring is not okay. So let's see, let's add df equals drop. Let's say D. It still didn't run. Module pandas drop and wait. It's saying that no attribute called drop NA. If that's the case, let's find drop NA from our documentation, shall we? Yes. Let's do that. Let's go to our documentation. Let's find drop NA. Let's find D. Where's the D? Data type. Mm, this is taking too much time, right? So what can be faster way? You can Google it. Not using GPT this time, okay? Drop. Drop column. PD dot drop column. Okay. You can find lots of things and including the way to the documentation where I will find the entire history of drop. Yeah, I missed my point. I couldn't find where the thing is in the documentation. Where is it in the API reference? I showed you the way. The simple thing is Google it. Okay, use your browser and Google it. Okay, you can also use the chat GPT thing, but I'm showing you everything. As a beginner, you should not waste too much time. Okay, when you have this type of tools, this type of facilities, it's your job to explore these things, okay, and use them properly. So let's see. So it is data frame dot drop and this is the index. Okay, let's see some examples. Okay, df dot drop. I have to mention something called axis. Let's see if this is the case. Let's see. Let's go to our mod notebook. If this is the case, it is actually the case. Axis dot zero. I'm gonna explain you what is the problem here. Oh, sorry, drop and I didn't drop. Okay. Now it should work. Still didn't work. Why? There's no drop. Let me again run this thing and drop this. Mm, 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 mm. Let's put a 0 here. Okay, but I do have an attribute called drop. I do have that, right? Drop. Okay, I got it. There's something's wrong with my code. So where can we find it the solution? It is in GPT. Let's see that. Let's say, is it correct? Let's ask him. It seems a small issue. Oh, okay, what's the issue? Okay, method with zero access. Okay, fine. Fine, let's print the df first. Let's run this code. Okay, fine. If I see d access d, so there's something wrong, I guess. I think I have to rerun all the cells, but my syntax is correct. Okay, there's something internally problem. But so if that's the case, let me explain it from the documentation itself. Okay, you see that I think I haven't made mistake. You see how you can drop your columns. There's a catch here. Let me explain that, then it will be easy for you guys. In drop, the syntax is basically pd dot drop, and if you want to drop row, you can. If you want to drop column, you can also do that, but you have to mention the axis. I thought I since I didn't write that, it didn't run. I did it on purposely, but after also putting it, it didn't work. Okay, there's something internal issue. Let me explain the code so that you can run it for yourself. So here, what this horizontal line is called row, right? And this line, this vertical line, is called column. So in axis, you can have either 0 or 1, but which for what? 1 is for column and 0 is for row. Fine, fine. Now how can I remember this? I remember this by remembering it like this. Column is from top to bottom, right? It is like a 1. Isn't it like a 1? So whenever I want to drop a column, I'm gonna use pd.drop, but I got what is the problem. I got it, guys. I think I got it. Yeah, some sense came into me. Yeah, finally, guys, it worked. What was the mistake? Here, you have to input the data frame, not the PD. Okay, now it worked. Now if you print the data frame, you will see there's no df. Oh, now what? Axis not found in axis. Okay, but it worked. It worked now. It worked. Finally it worked. Yes, everything is showing. The doc string is also there. Okay. Okay, let me finish my point first. How I remember this, guys? I remember that the column is like a 1. So when I'm gonna delete column, the axis parameter is also gonna be 1. Okay. And row is on the ground. There's no height of it, so it is 0. Clear? Clear on that? Okay, let me show you the code if I can fix it, or I'm gonna show you from the documentation. Let's see. It worked a bit earlier. Okay, let's drop it. Let's go here. Let's see this data frame. These are the columns. These are the columns A, B, C, D. What did they do? They dropped. See this? If you want to drop multiple columns, what do you have to do? You have to use a list. And since they are dropping the column, they use the axis 1. Axis value is 1. And after they printed it, the value is like that. You won't see any B and C here. Here there's BC, but here's no B and C. Clear? Clear on this one? How can you drop rows? Let's see if they have dropped any rows. They have not, I think. But you can drop rows with drop also by using axis equals to 0. Okay, fine. There's something wrong with my code there. That's why it is not working. One final try, and I think the time was also close to ending. So, hmm. Mm, you know what happened? At the first time it ran, right? But after that, it wasn't there. Let me show you the error. This is error analysis, guys. It is also part of learning. Since this mistake I made, I can tell you why it was made. This was our ABCD column. ABCD column. When it finally ran, when this command finally ran, like D access equals 1, this column ran. instantly drop this one. It dropped this column. When you drop this one, okay, wait, when you drop this one, the data frame looks like that. So after that, again I use this column. My arrow is saying there's no D here, there's no column called D here. What are you going to do? Okay, you can't drop anything there that's not even present there. Okay, that's why it was giving me an error. Clear? Clear. Now if I want to drop C, you will see that C will be dropped. C will be dropped. Let's drop C. X is, since it is a column, and also printed. Mm, so, wait. Yeah, wait. Fine, fine. Now another catch. There's another catch. You see what I did a bit earlier? After dropping it, if I print it, sorry. If I print it, it is saying that C is still present. Why so? The reason is this. There's something called in place. In place means it will actually be gone. It will actually be gone. Before that, I used this thing as df. So whatever was dropped got to my df, okay, and I got a dropped D column. Now since I am not storing this value, I am not storing it. It will drop C column. It has dropped C column. But the real data frame, that is df, is not gone. From the real data frame, C is still present. Okay? C is still present. See this? Now, if I permanently want to drop this, okay, let's drop two columns. Let's drop two columns. First of all, the first way, the C will be permanently deleted because the data frame will now be stored in another variable. Let's see that. Permanently deleted. If you write df, it will always give you a and ab, not C. Okay? And if you want to do the same thing but without storing it into a different variable, you can do that too by using in place, something called in place. You have to just make it true. Okay, since mind it, C is not present here, we only have A and B. Let's drop B. Boom, B dropped. Now if you type in df, it will also it will always be uh, without the uh, B column. Okay, now why is the error? Because I have already deleted B. Since there's no B here, that's why it is giving me an error, that key error, there's no B. Fine. Okay, fine. So for 15 minutes I have explained drop. I have made mistakes. I actually made mistakes. I pretended to make mistakes. I showed you how you can solve this. You can use the web. How can you search the documentation? I showed you how can you use GPTs and AIs. How can you use doc strings when you get stuck? And finally, I have showed you why there was error. So crystal clear, guys. If you didn't understand the errors, recheck that, and I'll be putting my YouTube link in the comment section. Check that again and again to understand what I have said. So this was the agenda for today, guys. From series, I have discussed how to create series from three things: list, arrays, and dictionaries, and also how to use indexes, use that, and I have discussed data frames, creating, selection and indexing, conditional selection, creating, dropping, all covered. Fine. This was the agenda for today, but tomorrow I have also another session, that is Pandas part 2. It will be part 2. By far I have only discussed the basics, real basics, but in when you are doing machine learning, you are not going to be creating data frames or series like that. What are you going to do? You are going to be importing them or inputting them. Okay, and you are going to be manipulating an inputted data. But how can you input data? How can you input tables? How can you manipulate that? Besides, what are the functions that I can use in pandas to manipulate them? All things are going to be covered tomorrow. This was a basic thing. It needed to be discussed for your basics. Come to the next session. We're going to have lots of fun. Another fun thing, you can plot in pandas. That's your homework. So that's for today. See you tomorrow at the session. Let's stop this recordings.